Hey guys, here to talk about the Golden Globes this morning. The first category I want to talk about is animated film. The winner was Missing Link. Now, this is a huge upset. Not sure why Missing Link won. It was definitely not the right film to win Best Animated Feature. I think at the Oscars it definitely won't win. It will get a nomination, but it won't win. Toy Story 4 should and will win at the Oscars. It's also a good chance that How to Train Your Dragon, Frozen 2 also get in there as nominations. So the Golden Globes, I don't take too seriously. It's a good indicator who's going to get nominated. In this case, in some of the categories, I hope that is an indicator of who wins. But if you look at the nominations for each category, I think it shows where the headspace is for the people voting for the Golden Globes. It's just a bunch of famous people getting in there. Like, let's take Best Actor Comedy Musical, which, first of all, let's talk about that. Why do they break down the categories from drama to comedy musical? This should all be one category, like the Oscars. The Golden Globes wants to get more nominees. That's fine, that's their show. But so we go on to Best Actor Comedy. The nominations this year was Taron Egerton for Rocketman, Roman Griffin Davis for Jojo Rabbit, Daniel Craig for Knives Out, and Eddie Murphy for Dolomite Is My Name, as well as Leonardo DiCaprio for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. The winner was Taron Egerton. This was actually a surprise to me. Don't think he should have won. It should have been Leo. But if you look at the joke nominees here, why was Daniel Craig nominated for Knives Out? Now we move on to Best Actress Comedy or Musical. The winner, I'll go ahead and say the winner, was Awkwafina for The Farewell. We also get nominees in there. Beanie Feldstein for Booksmart, Ana de Armas for Knives Out, Emma Thompson for Late Night, and Cate Blanchett for Where'd You Go, Bernadette? Feldstein, Blanchett, why were they nominated? Okay. Best Supporting Actress. The winner was Laura Dern, who is probably going to win the Oscar this year. I'm not really sure why. We also had Jennifer Lopez nominated, Margot Robbie, Kathy Bates, and Annette Bening. So I definitely think this is an indicator that she's going to win. I also think this category could hint at some people that might get nominated as well, including Jennifer Lopez. I don't think that she will, but it could happen. Definitely Margot Robbie, and possibly Kathy Bates. We go on to Best Supporting Actor, which is my biggest, my most passionate category this season. Let me start with the nominations. We got Anthony Hopkins, Joe Pesci, Tom Hanks, Al Pacino. The winner was, of course, Brad Pitt for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, who I think will win come the Oscars. I think Al Pacino, Joe Pesci, Tom Hanks will all also probably get nominations for the Oscars. I don't think Anthony Hopkins will make it in there, but we'll see. Let's go back here to the first big award as far as film goes in the night was Best Foreign Film, which went to Parasite, which I think everyone knew was going to happen. But I wonder if this is an indicator about it not being nominated for Best Picture. I hope that it is nominated for Best Picture. It won't win, but it should get a nomination. It's definitely among a lot of people's top 10 films of the year. Let's go to Best Actor in a Drama. Now, this one I'm really upset about, okay? The nominations were Antonio Banderas for Pain and Glory, Christian Bale for Ford vs. Ferrari, Jonathan Pryce for The Two Popes, Adam Driver for Marriage Story, and Joaquin Phoenix for Joker. Joaquin Phoenix won for Joker. This is ridiculous. It should have been Adam Driver for Marriage Story. He gave one of the best performances of the year. Huge snub. I hope this doesn't happen in the Oscars. The next category is Best Actress Drama. Now, the nominations were Scarlett Johansson for Marriage Story, Cynthia Erivo, I think, for Harriet, Saoirse Ronan for Little Women, Charlize Theron for Bombshell, and Renee Zellweger for Judy. Now, Renee won for Judy. Don't see this as a surprise because everyone's been talking about her winning for this, but it shouldn't have happened. It should have been Scarlett Johansson for Marriage Story. Gave much better performance. It's just crazy. The next category is screenplay. Now this is a kind of a ridiculous thing. So the Golden Globes breaks down movies between comedy, musical, and drama. but they can't separate the screenplay category into Best Adapted and Original. Okay, so we get Irishman nominated, The Two Popes, Parasite, Marriage Story, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Thankfully, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood won, although I can see why someone would argue that Marriage Story should win. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood did win, and I think that's a lock now to win Best Original Screenplay at the Academy Awards. We go into Director. The people that were nominated were Sam Mendes for 1917, which I haven't seen yet, so I can't speak too much on 1917. Bong Joon-ho for Parasite, Todd Phillips for Joker, Martin Scorsese for The Irishman, and Quentin Tarantino for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Now, my favorite choice out of this was Tarantino for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but I think Parasite may have had the best directing of any film this year. Either way, neither one won. Sam Mendes won for 1917. Like I said, I haven't seen it, so I can't speak too much on it, but it was a little disappointing for me. Now we go to the Best Picture categories, the biggest categories of the night. So the first one I want to speak of is the one that I care a little bit less about as far as this category goes, or this show, and that's Best Picture Drama. The nominations were The Two Popes, which I don't think anyone has even seen, Marriage Story, Joker, The Irishman, and 1917. Now, I'm pretty sure that I would have went with Marriage Story, but the winner was 1917, which is a surprise for me. I did think Marriage Story or The Irishman would win in this category, and after 1917's wins last night, I do think that it's a good chance that it might surprise us and win some big awards at the Oscars. Now we get to Best Picture Comedy. I don't know if I would consider these films comedies, at least two of them. I guess you could consider Jojo Rabbit a comedy, which was nominated. Knives Out, I can see. Dolomite Is My Name, I can see. Rocket Man, I don't really consider a comedy, but it was also nominated. Well, I guess it goes in the musical category. And finally, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which, once again, I don't consider a comedy, but it won in the category, so I'm very happy. And I think, and I'm very happy to say that I think this is going to be the best winner, the Best Picture winner at the Academy Awards this year. It's my favorite film of the year, one of my favorite films of all time, and I think we're about to see it win Best Picture at the Academy Awards. All right, well, that's my brief thoughts, guys.